I broke it. Okay, get ready for the opening for those who are watching this. Three, two, one.
Put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody joining the crew. We got just one drink that we rule them all. Hope you remember your thoughts. At your Uru feathers and your Middle Earth guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword plus one. Usually wins till it will get you to come. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Troy,
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank, your guyless sized podcast once again. He should be here to be my guest, but I haven't heard from him. So, double checking text is nothing on text. He'll be like last time. He'll show up in the middle of something. I don't know. No clue what's happening. I know he did the convention over the weekend, the one that was down like Colorado Springs, was it? Or,
I don't know.
but I could find out pretty easily because he did. I did see a post of his on Facebook that is either like Saturday or Sunday. He actually had sold out of all of his comics he had brought, which is good news, assuming he brought a fair amount of comics.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I'm gonna scroll through here and see if it says which convention he was at, because I feel like it was the Colorado Springs convention. And I don't even know what the name of it was. Okay, that's not the convention. That's not the convention. Yeah, made it too hard to find. So
Yep.
whatever convention happened this weekend, that's like an hour drive away from here, is the one he was at.
Cool.
So
It
we
was a
have
Fort Collins,
Fort Collins. Okay.
maybe.
But,
Uh-oh, Troy's.
oh,
You locked up for a moment there.
oh no.
You're
Yeah,
back.
my computer might spit me out.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. I didn't see any sign on my side of things, but I do have three different kids using the internet and playing games online, so
Cool.
that could be that could cause an issue. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our own convention coming up, which we talked about last time as well. But we have 4 days now till no 3 days till Thursday.
Yep.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What do you have going on for night market night, the Thursday night?
Nothing special. We'll probably be just doing some setup and not opening to the room, but I plan on, last year we went on Thursday and we had a great time, but this year we're not sure if we're going to take Nova out of school for Friday. So,
Oh,
but we'll talk about that probably tonight. And then if we do go, then we'll just show up and move into the room and hang out and go dance.
nice. Are they doing
Yeah.
dancing Thursday night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least that was last year. Last year it was a charity ball. So
I'm going to do basically a Texas Hold'em demo slash come play, but there's no stakes involved.
Hmm.
There's no prize, no money. It's just a hey, what do you think of this game that used to be really popular? Do you want us to bring it back? Kind of like test the waters with it again.
Right.
Just poker chips are heavy.
Yes, they're made of clay.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of them. I guess it was pretty darn huge, and for what our what our big cheese person was telling me, she said that for a New Year's Eve party, they almost had an entire casino type setup going with dice, um, roulette wheel, and some different poker games and stuff.
Nice.
So I let her know. I was like, "Hey, if it gets money for the charity that we're doing, I'm completely fine with bringing that stuff back."
Hmm.
So,
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
see any new movies within the past week?
No. Oh, I mean, I guess I have. Let's see. I showed Nova the Matrix.
Nice.
She'd never seen it before, and then I guess an ongoing series of movies that Dad's like, you should watch this, and she's resistant to it and enjoys. This is the first one though that she was like, again. We watched Animatrix, which has got a lot of much darker stuff in it, and I had to talk about some of that. And
Hmm.
also showed her Mask of Zorro.
Yeah,
It might have been a couple weeks ago though. And then
I think I remember you mentioning that last show.
it was very good. And then I watched the 2011 Three Musketeers, um, which is really really funny.
Is that the one with
Uh,
Mila Jovovich? Mila
yeah, Mia
Jovovich?
Jovovich. Yeah,
Jovovich.
yeah, and actually I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everybody seemed to be having fun with their parts and did a good job. And I thought the fight choreography was good. In fact, it was good enough that I want to own it because I'm sure I can get it for cheap.
Hmm.
And hello, Brent.
Hey, Brent.
But no, I really liked it, like, a little bit. I mean, I was watching it from the opening scenes. I'm like, these people really love Assassin's Creed 2,
Hmm.
and that's okay because I really love Assassin's Creed 2. Um, but yeah, I mean, Christoph Waltz as the main villain was great as always, and
Hmm.
Orlando Bloom as kind of the secondary villain was also very good. Um, and then the Three Musketeers themselves were cool. Ray Wise, Razor Glass, was Porthos, and he was cool. And how they actually did differentiate all of their fighting styles, just cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember it. I remember you mentioning it to me and that you hadn't seen it yet, and it had been years since I had seen it last. So I watched it not too long after that because I wanted to make sure after recommending it that it wasn't horrible and that I was misremembering, because otherwise I went, no, Alex, don't watch it. I was wrong.
No, it's cool. And
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons why I watched is because Luke Evans is hot, and he was Aramis,
Mm.
and it was cool. It
Good.
was cool.
I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay.
I'm somewhere in the middle with it. It's kind of like it's better than 2, but I felt like it was like over 2 hours. It was like almost 2.5 hours long. And Tara, Nick, and I had watched it, and we're like, could have used a little more editing. They could have. There's some stuff that just wasn't even helpful to the film.
Mm. Yeah, I never saw it. I'm not even sure if I saw the second one. So Dune Part 1, the first half of the Denis Villeneuve. So
I
I
thought that was
saw that in
pretty
the
good.
theater once. Enjoyed it. Thought it was a really good advertisement for the book. So I'm looking forward to part 2. Though I understand they're going to basically start with the time skip, which annoys me.
Mm.
I think I might have mentioned this on the cast before, but for those who like Dune, or at least the book, the scene where they talk about what's his name, Janice's death. I was a friend of Janice and he taught me this, or he did this, or he saved me from this, or blah blah blah. I think that's really integral to the character of Paul Atreides, and I was disappointed that it was not the ending of the first movie. Hopefully, they open with the second movie with it. But yeah, it's a highlight reel. one as it kind of has to be, but it's still beautifully done. Right, that scene.
Cool. Yeah, I thought they did a great job with it visually too. In that, so
Oh yeah, did you see it with us, or did you watch it on your own?
I watched it on my own here
Okay.
on regular television size
Oh, okay.
screen.
Yeah, we went and saw it in the theater probably opening weekend with a group, and I really like how Dennis really. One thing I liked was that he was really wasn't coddling the audience, like he really was loving the language of film and using that, which is good, because I was really disappointed in Blade Runner 2049.
Hmm. It had its moments, but it also had like the B plot was unnecessary from the A plot, and it just there was an interesting part where they side by side. If you look at certain scenes to the first one, they tried to match certain shots
Yeah,
of the
that's
two
one of the things that actually
characters.
really irritated me about it,
Oh, felt like
because I really love the first movie, and like when he was like doing that, I'm like, I've seen this. I've
I
seen
haven't
this.
I haven't seen the any of the animated stuff yet. And
Oh, for Blade
that's
Runner?
yeah. So it's one of those that's like I keep meaning to watch it. I'm trying to remember.
I know there was like 3
It's,
shorts that came out, and I don't know if there about anything beyond that, but those are cool. Um,
yeah, Black Lotus. Yeah, Blade Runner Black Lotus is what it was called. And there's one season of 13 episodes. It looks like.
oh, that is not what I was talking about. That's cool. What is it on?
That's what I'm looking for here. It should be something I have since I know it exists.
One would hope.
Yep. Let's try this. Yeah, it might be. It might be Netflix. Would be my guess.
If it is, I know what I'm watching tonight.
Weird. There you go. Internet, you found me. Is on. Let's do that.
Apple TV. Brent's on the case.
Oh, it must have moved. Oh, it's HBO Max as well. It looks like.
Hmm.
Because I don't have Apple TV, and I know that it was on some list of stuff, and I added it to a watch list.
Hmm.
But yeah, I love Blade Runner stuff and the Philip K. Dick series. It's funny going back reading the book after having seen the movie hundreds of times,
Oh yeah,
and,
it's weird.
reading the book, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, from what I understand, they showed Philip K. Dick some of the landscape shots and some of the unfinished stuff they had done as he was dying or near death, and he expressed that they had gotten the feel for what he was going for with the universe, Pat, which is cool.
Yeah,
And Phil K. Dick is hugely influential in the science fiction genre, um, and kind of an unsung influence at that. I mean, the last 10, 20 years more so, but there's so many things that people took inspiration from or just outright did. Um, and yeah, guy was a nutbag.
I remember the first time we were introduced to Deckard in his apartment. He has this device. It's basically like a rotary dial telephone,
Hmm.
and you dial the number for what feeling you want to feel from the drugs, and it would administer the drugs to you.
Yes,
And I was like, so bizarre trying to picture that in a
Phil
world where
K. Dick
we.
was really into drugs.
Uh,
Drugs and writing all the time. As if he stopped writing, the magic Skyhead would find him.
well, it's not
Yeah.
HBO Max because it did not pop up. she'll try and I could search on my phone right here and go to each of these platforms and check them, assuming that I have them on here. Yeah, we are 15 minutes in and no word from Guy. Don't know
All
what's
right.
going on there. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like it's on Amazon Prime, it's on Apple, it's on YouTube, Vudu, Google Play, Movies, Crunchyroll.
It must have got moved. They do have this animated cyberpunk thing, which I haven't watched either.
Yeah, here's a prequel to the most recent video game. Great, you guys demonetized Brent. Thanks.
My brain shut down there for a minute. I ran out of my drink. Now I've just got ice. It's sad.
Sadness.
Oh, so Brent, I don't think Brent was here when I was mentioning I was going to be trying to explore bringing poker back to NDK, Texas Hold'em, which I know David, who's one of our viewers, watches. No, I'm sorry, Donald. Donald's one of our viewers who had mentioned he liked Texas Hold'em and conventions. Since David Coyle was our guest for the game on Saturday, I think that's why the name David popped in my head instead of Donald. But what's funny is when I'd gotten a hold of him, I'm like, hey, can you hang out like nearby, like at a Denny's or something, until I'm ready for you to show up? Because I don't want you to be there too soon. I want you to show up the time the character shows up.
Right.
So that way.
I saw you texting.
Yeah. No idea what I was texting about though.
It was cool. He came in, he played his character. He was really irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Other people were engaging with him. The grown-ups made a plan, and at the end of the day, like we worked not hard, but we very carefully did not kill him ourselves or leave him in such a position that we would be framed for killing him, so that my character's girlfriend killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disposed of the body. There's a bonding moment.
Mm-hmm. And out of everybody, she's the one who deserved to kill him. So, and then had a bonding moment with Fox since they got to kill him together and resurrect him and kill him again. The cleric's like, you can't kill him. I'll resurrect him. It's like, well, just keep killing him then.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of other cool things that are going on. And my brain's just been completely swamped with NDK stuff.
Fair.
As well as tomorrow I take my last audition for the job I have, because you have to. We teach 8 classes, but in my mind there are only 4 classes because it's next Monday. If we stream, it would be. I don't know who's going to be alive. I might be alive, but I don't know.
I should be up for it. I also have like Tuesday off.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. I'm sad I'm not going to be going out dancing to the golf club next Sunday, but I'm going to be way too tired for that. So.
Yeah, although it's gotten easier now that load in and load out's been streamlined.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, totally.
But yeah, kids have to do 30 hours of class time to get their permit when they're under a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
And so they break this up into 8 classes of roughly 3.5 hours each. But most kids will take 2 classes back to back because that's how it's set up for the day. So like on one day you'll have class 1 and 2 and then class 3 and 4 and that. But if for some reason you can only attend half of a day, then you would get that number knocked out, and then you have to get the next one knocked out. But as a teacher with them, they break up your duties in classes 1 through 4 and then 5 through 8. And so I'm auditioning for 5 through 8 tomorrow, which I've already completed the 1 through 4.
All right.
And it's
cool.
It's one of those things where it's like, I guess it's because I've been out of the business for so long is why I've got like this weird nervousness with it. When it's kind of like I start doubting that I have memorized what I need memorized.
Right.
And then it's like, you don't have to have anything memorized. It's all PowerPoint. You just follow the PowerPoint. So so yeah, we'll see. I figured if the pessimistic side of my brain's right, then they'll just tell me I'm not ready and to study some more. It's not like they're going to fire me.
Right. Right.
Whereas if my optimistic side of my brain's right, then I'll just pass, and they're like, "Cool, you
Good
passed."
job.
Yeah.
Right on.
Uh, oh. So we have you're fired. Yeah. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm doing this job not because of the money, but just so I can be back in the workforce, so I can build up a resume if I do need to get a job, kind of thing. I'm like in a really lucky position in my life that I wouldn't have to be working right now if I absolutely hated to. But the kids are old enough that I can start working again without. I could take some time away from having to raise them because they can raise themselves to a degree at this point. Yeah, to have something to do. Also, teaching kids how to drive is actually rewarding because the skills I'm giving them might save their life, might save them some money, might save them some injury. So, so it's then again, maybe it won't, but I don't think it'll hurt.
Right.
So I do have a talking about the convention and getting ready for the convention and stuff. Yeah, she thinks at 13 she knows everything. Yeah, that's okay. Some people get that and keep it for the rest of their life, and they continue to think they know everything. But I was buying sodas for my crew today for my staff at NDK.
Yeah.
And this has been a pet peeve of mine now for a couple of years, is the way that King Supers does their sell products when they put something on special. It used to be anything they wanted to put on sale, it would fall into this category of buy 10 or more of any participating item and get this reduced cost for those items.
Right. Yeah.
Then it branched into a buy 5 or more of the participant item for one set of items, and another set of items would be like 4 or more, and another set of items would be like 3 or more, and then yet another set of items would be like it's a digital coupon that you have to scan and get on your phone with the app.
Yeah.
So it's gotten really complicated and irritating, and so I downloaded the digital coupon for the sodas, and it said use up to 5 times per transaction. Like, okay, cool. I used it a couple of days ago. That was one transaction. I'm going to use it again today. That would be a different transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't giving me the discount price. And I called the person over, and they're like, oh, yeah, you can only use that once. I'm like, it says once per transaction, and I haven't used it yet for a transaction. So, yeah, I have a Costco membership. So it's the only problem with Costco is when you don't want that much of something, then it's going to go bad. But the stuff that lasts forever, fine getting a bunch of stuff with that. But yeah, it's one of my old man rants is
Yeah.
just try to rip people off and that. Because I wonder how many people don't check their pricing as they do it, and they just buy the stuff and don't realize they're not getting a discounted price.
Right.
That's a lot of mac
Yep.
and cheese.
Hmm.
How much does 25 pounds of mac and cheese eventually turn into in pounds per person after you eat it? So I think it's more than 25 pounds somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't rant long enough. I only ranted for like a minute.
That's funny.
Let's see. So at some point, I definitely want to do the magic keyword thing, but I feel like that should be something different than our Monday nights Geek Tank stuff. Let's see. I could talk. Oh, I could talk about the tiny bit I know about Lorcana, the Disney thing that's coming up, because we didn't talk about that, I think, last show. Lorcana is Disney's version of like Magic the Gathering that's out. Look it up, make sure I get everything spelled correctly here. But the some folks who are with the group that runs tournaments is going to be there at NDK this year running a Lorcana tournament.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, it's produced by Ravensburger, which they actually do make a lot of games. But from what I found out, the tournament scene has been active for a little while now. And so they're going to be doing a tournament that you need to bring your own deck to. So I don't know how many participants they're going to get because I don't know anybody who even has a Lorcana deck yet. At
Right.
least
Yeah.
in our group. I was expecting it to be like a sealed tournament because that would
Hmm.
make the most sense. And if that was the case, I would have gladly gotten into it because I'd like to buy some of the cards and try it out. But I'm not. I'm nowhere near ready that even if somebody was to hand me a deck to go in and play against people who've been playing a few tournaments already.
Right. Yeah.
Like I bought all the good cards.
Right.
But if you happen to have a Lorcana deck and you're interested in a tournament, that's going to be going on Saturday at IndieK. And I don't know if Kieran's going to be carrying Lorcana cards or not. He might already have them. So
Right.
and we're 4 minutes away from that. But since you said the magic word like Pee Wee's Playhouse,
Ah.
we'll go ahead and do our little ad here if I can hit the right buttons. There we go. Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, and your mom. So yeah, I think Kieran Games is gonna be there, but actually I haven't checked with Chris on that. He was at the thing that guy was at the Fort Collins one.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Blade Runner and voiceovers and such, I mean, I just think of the Your Mom thing, just the his malicious compliance and doing Harrison Ford's malicious compliance and doing the voiceover in the original release makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, because the test audience didn't understand what had happened or
Hmm.
something like that, and so that's why they're like, "We need you to narrate at the end and let
Or,
people know what happened."
or just the execs thought that the people were too stupid to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he spared my life. Guess in that moment, he loved all life, even mine. And then Bob's got a story about his parents watching Blade Runner in the theater, and Harrison Ford was in the theater.
Whoa!
Like he had did not want to go to like the premiere or anything, but wanted to see it, and so he just snuck into this theater in this town. He just happened to be passing through, and was sitting there watching it.
Wow. I'm amazed that he did. I could. Everybody else like, oh my god, it's him. It's have like this horrible little fake mustache and nose and glasses.
Right? He probably walked in with like a long coat and a hat, you know.
There was I'm trying to remember. It was one of my classes in college at Front Range Community College. One of the girls lived in Boulder and she did art, and she was walking with some of her art in her arms down the street, and Harrison actually literally physically bumped into Harrison Ford because she wasn't looking. And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh, what do you got there? Some art?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm an artist. I'll buy that from you. $100." I bought one of her paintings like right there for $100. And it's like that's a cool story.
That is pretty cool.
So I guess he has a place somewhere here in Colorado and occasionally, or used to. I don't know nowadays, but
Right.
since he has
I
a
don't
pilot's license and that, he flies his helicopter around. He runs like volunteer rescue stuff for
Yeah.
that kind of thing, which it's got to be really surreal that if you're out there and you break your leg skiing and then the helicopter lands and it's Harrison Ford. It's,
Right.
come with me if you want to live.
Wrong movie.
I know. Get off my plane.
Thought they smelled that on the outside. Yeah. Pretty cool.
It's my story with seeing Blade Runner. Look, I think it was called The Frisco Kid. Let's see. Yeah, 1979 movie called The Frisco Kid with Gene Wilder and Harrison Ford. Was the movie that was supposed to be playing at midnight at one of these little indie theaters
Yeah.
that my brother took me to, and my brother's like, "Oh, it's a really funny movie. It's a western with Harrison Ford and Gene Wilder, and you'll like it." And so we went to see it, and we go in and sit down, and the whoever, I don't know if it's the owner or who it was, I don't know if they even have permission to be doing this, but they came out like, "We have a special treat for all of you. It's not the movie you were expecting to see, but it is a Harrison Ford movie." Anyone started up and it was like Blade Runner. It was like
Awesome.
they probably weren't even supposed to be showing it. Like they had just got it that night or something. I don't know because I had never even heard of it. It was
Right.
like that new, and of course it just blew my little teenage mind out of my head seeing that. I'm like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. The music's so amazing. The story's so cool. I
Mm-hmm.
want one of those guns.
Right.
Ugh.
Back when Ridley Scott made good films.
Uh,
Like I said, if Ridley Scott were in charge of making Blade Runner 2049, I would not have watched it.
well, it's like the last few Alien movies were not so great either.
Terrible. Prometheus, terrible.
Mhm.
Like I was like thinking about it and I was like, what's the last great Ridley Scott movie? Oh, Blade Runner. What's the last watchable Ridley Scott movie? Oh, Gladiator. Yeah. From the year 2000.
The distant future.
It is the future, the distant
It's the
future.
Uh, they have a concert special on HBO as well, Flight of the Concords, and they've got
Nice.
some songs on there I hadn't heard, so it was kind of neat watching that.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
I'm looking up his Ridley Scott's list of films because I'm curious. Oh, he's doing a version of miniseries of Great Expectations.
Okay.
I've heard of it.
I read it. But no, it's
Not that great. Sounds like this
nice.
might be a cool movie by the title.
The last movie of his, I mean, I don't know. Actually, no. The last movie of his I tried to watch was Kingdom of Heaven, and
Mm.
I was so high when I tried to watch that, and the movie seemed to last like all week because I was so high.
Like,
And the movie before that I tried to watch of his was Prometheus, of which I had all these like questions. Like these people need to be asking these questions and they're not, and they need to be doing this and they're not. And then like 30 minutes in, almost to the dot, I took the movie out of the machine. I'm like, no, we're done.
it's amazing the stuff that gets past writers' rooms. It's just like, was there even a writers' room, or was it just one guy going, "This is awesome"?
This is so awesome.
Nobody could tell me otherwise.
I fired them all.
And then we had Phantom Menace. I still find it funny how there's people who hate the newer movies more than Phantom Menace, and you can kind of spot to a small degree what generation someone is by which movies they like and don't like. Because it's a younger generation of the ones who have enjoyed the prequels more than the sequels to the last, like to the 7, 8, 9 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, sure, 7, 8, 9 had lots of problems, but I found them at least entertaining. Whereas I failed to get pull any entertainment out of the others. But to each their own.
Yeah, I'm definitely of the Sith Lord Jar Jar camp.
It would have been cool if they'd done that.
Yeah, they'd set it up, and then they got cowardly. Coward, Mr. Lucas. Coward. But I mean, actually, I want to rewatch it. But from my impressions of it, I think that The Last Jedi is at least as good as Empire, if not better. And part of that has to do with my, as I grow older and wiser myself, thinking about how full of shit Yoda is most of the time. I was thinking about it, and like I was talking to somebody, and I'm like, he says like 2 good things. Like, which 2? I'm like, well, luminous beings we are, not this crude matter. That works for me. And when Luke is going to go into the cave, and Luke goes, "What's in there?" And Yoda says, "Only what you take with you."
Yep.
Everything else, trash. Well, unless he's actually trying to like dissuade Luke from sticking around for training. That stuff's gold. It's comedy gold.
Yeah, I really had one of my problems too is when the expectations can screw up everything. And the way that Return of the Jedi had ended, in my mind, it was obvious the next thing to happen was Luke was supposed to go down the dark path and become like his father.
Mm-hmm.
Because Yoda said it. He said, if you leave now, if you don't finish your training, things are going to go badly for you. And it never did. It never went badly for him after that. So that's been set up to happen, but it doesn't really quite happen.
Mm-hmm.
The costume designing started Luke off in white and beige, pure hero.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, he's more in beige and grays.
Mm-hmm.
And then last one, he's in black. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like just visually with the color, they're setting up his story arc that way.
Totally.
He lost his hand like his father. He's becoming more robot. So I really thought that the 6, 7, and 8 was going. Let's see, yeah, 6, 7, and 8. I thought was going to be about Luke turning evil and Leia having to do something about it. And that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so I was disappointed that wasn't the case. But it's still fun to watch. So it's the only big thing that I thought was bad was I'm sure they didn't know how they wanted to kill Leia in the thing, but when the one general flew the ship into the other ship, I'm like, that should have been Leia that did that as a sacrifice. But
Yeah, really cool.
But the funny thing is her plan. I think her name was like Hoda or Holdo or something like that. I forgot her name.
Lorna Dern.
Yeah, Lauren Dern's character. Her plan would have worked
Mm-hmm.
had Poe not left and hooked up with a traitor,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing ended up falling apart. Which it's like I haven't heard anybody point that out other than when I watched. Like that's something that stuck out to me, and it's one of these things where if she just would have set him down and said, "Look, I have a plan, but we know there's a traitor on the ship. They're following us through warping, and they're not supposed to be able to do that through hyper jumping.
Mm-hmm.
So someone on here's a traitor. So I'm not going to tell you my plan because, as far as I know, you're the traitor, or you're friends with the traitor, and you might let it slip. So sit down and shut up and listen to me because I'm the captain."
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also like that's Poe should have been able to figure that out on his own.
He should have, yeah.
And yeah,
But
because I mean, like even sitting put on having that conversation is way above his fucking pay grade.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you do what you're fucking told. But Poe and handsomeness and masculinity. Yeah. And so what? Shut the fuck up and you do what you're told.
We're in a war.
I'm your fucking, commanding officer. Shut the fuck up. Well, I've had to tell you to shut the fuck up twice, Brig. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. See, have you seen any of the show The Expanse?
I've not. Y'all have talked about it.
Yeah, it's on
cool.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we're not on Amazon.
Tara and I finished it. It's as far as we can tell, there's not going to be any more seasons, and they only really had one kind of thread left unfinished when they finished. That you could tell that they were expecting to have more seasons because they set it up to have more, and there's things that happen that there's no explanation to and no follow up. But overall, I thought it was a really cool show.
Cool.
I thought the characters neat. I thought the science behind everything that they do with it's really nifty. And it's Apparently, the book series it's based off of is great as well, but I haven't read that.
Cool.
But yeah, it was on something other than Amazon, which is why I hadn't watched it. But guy had like really praised it almost to the same level as Star Trek.
Hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's if you happen to end up with a trial of Amazon Prime, the TV show stuff, it's worth giving it a shot.
Yeah, we don't sign up for any of that.
Yeah, ended up with it just because we order so much stuff from Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
What other things are there? Oh, I don't remember if you had watched any of these or not, but the What We Do in the Shadows movie or TV series.
No, no.
Oh, it's so fun. It's there's a movie that's roughly like almost hour and a half, 2 hours long, and then there's the TV series, which is set within the same canon as the movie. And in fact, in the last episode, near the last episode of the season one, they bring in some of the characters from the movie
Okay.
as well. But it's hard PG-13 borderline R comedy with a documentary crew documenting the lives of these vampires that live together. So it's I think you'll like it.
Okay.
So, and it's got Jermaine in it from Flight of the Conchords.
Right,
One of
Jermaine.
Jermaine. He's one of the creators. Him and Joaquin Tiki. Him again. His name's mixed up, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. You know the guy I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy who did I can't remember it, but the Imaginary Friend is Hitler movie.
Yes, that guy.
That was a good movie.
It was. Yeah, so he's one of the main creators of the series and the movie as well. So,
Yeah.
in the movie, he's actually in it as an actor, and Jermaine's in it as an actor. So they play vampires in that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Our Flag Means Death. I really want to watch that. And it's got that guy in it too.
Yeah, and it's got Reese Darby, who is the manager of the band Flight of the Conchords in the TV series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it has a different rhythm to the storytelling on it, and which took just a little bit of getting used to, but I thought it was pretty funny with the setups that they have in it.
Cool.
Man. There's your geeky recommendations of shows to watch out there for our viewers.
Right.
Go check out What We Do in the Shadows.
I'm still catching up on. I'm rewatching Dragon Prince as a new season came out. It's been like years since I've seen it, so it's slow going. Not because it's slow, it's just I don't have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What other cool things are happening? All kinds of uncool stuff happening that's not geeky related, though, so I won't bother with that. You do the geeky stuff to get away from the real world.
Yeah, I did start reading Tehanu to Nova. That's the fourth Earthsea novel. Came out in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s. I only read it once when it first came out, and I was not ready for it. I only remember a couple things from it. I don't know how true those things are. So I'm looking forward to reading it, but it takes immediately takes a much more visceral tone than the original trilogy. I hesitate to say darker, because the original books are pretty dark in their subject matter, if not and part of the presentation, but not a whole lot of details. But the fourth book opens up with some of the characters finding and trying to help a child that's been like tossed in a fire, basically. So it's like, all right.
I'm assuming you've done 1 through 3 since you're on 4 then.
Oh, I love 1 through 3. They're some of my favorite books, even today. They're all very small, and
I heard the TV series was horrible adaptation. I never saw it.
The Sci-Fi Channel one.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and there's like an anime that's kind of based on Earthsea as well, which I hear is also not good, which isn't as much of a surprise. Earthsea is very interesting, and Le Guin's portrayal of the things and the conflicts are very interesting. Le Guin said of the TV series that one of the greatest sins that they committed in trying to translate the books into a series was that they made the conflict able to be solved by killing someone, because that is not the case. That is, even in the third book, when they were ostensibly hunting someone down, what that person has set into motion does not even slow down with his death. So, but no, they're fantastic books, very enjoyable. Yeah, I love them so much. I like she has a really great slam on J.K. Rowling, author slam. Let me pull this up. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, there's a television miniseries that I never saw.
I think that's one I was thinking of.
Oh, no, that is a Sci-Fi Channel one. My bad. Animated film, Tales from Earthsea. Le Guin called the adaptation disappointing and entirely different from her creation. Let me see, what does she say here? Literature, fantasy, accolades, influence. Modern writers have credited A Wizard of Earthsea for introducing the idea of a wizard school, which would later be made famous by the Harry Potter series of books, and with popularizing the trope of a boy wizard also present in Harry Potter. Reviewers have also commented that the basic premise of A Wizard of Earthsea, that of a talented boy going to a wizard school and making an enemy with whom he has a close connection, is also the premise of Harry Potter. Ged, the main character of A Wizard of Earthsea, also receives a scar from the shadow, which hurts whenever the shadow is near him, just as Harry Potter's scar from Voldemort. Commenting on the similarities, Le Guin said that she did not feel that J.K. Rowling, quote, ripped her off, end quote, but that Rowling's books received too much praise for supposed originality, and that Rowling, quote, could have been more gracious about her predecessors. My incredulity was at the critics who found the first book wonderfully original. She has many virtues, but originality isn't one of them.
Burn.
Author burn.
So there's 6 books total. Is what it looks
Yes.
like? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's like 4 novels, and I think the other 2 are books of short stories.
Okay.
I'm not certain of that because I haven't read them yet.
There's your book recommendation then by us viewers.
Yeah, Wizard of Earthsea is amazing. If you've never read a Wizard of Earthsea, then do yourself a favor, read it.
I wonder how many disappointed fans of Harry Potter even realize this exists, because they're I'd never heard of this until I met this one person, but she's a musician and does wizard rock, which was a whole category of music done like filking or folk music.
Yeah.
But with the Harry Potter stuff as the target of it. And when the whole J.K. Rowling thing happened, many of those people were like, well, guess we're not doing this anymore because we're not going to give any kind of credit to this person. So they have this void in their life now of clearly they're fans of that style of genre of a wizard school, and that if they should continue to do wizard rock, but make it a different wizard from Earthsea.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, the Wizard of Earthsea is so they're all very small books. At least the original 3 are like 150, 200 pages, and like some of the lessons there. Like I just reread them, reading to my daughter, and like the first book is like the central problem is one that the main character let loose and is responsible for. It has some shades of Frankenstein, in that sense, and it's very Jungian. Um, and so the more that he denies the shadow, the more power he gives it.
Hmm.
And much like Frankenstein, he does not start to reclaim that power until he is the one hunting it. Um, Super good.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Um, the second, and he's a young man. It starts out when he's like basically a child and to his late adolescence, basically. And then the second book um, is like he is older. He is much more knowledgeable, much more powerful than he used to be, and he's not even the main character of the book. But he must, even at the height of his abilities, one could say, he still needs help from someone else. So that was a cool lesson, or one of the cool lessons of the book. And then the third one is he is now Archmage, and he goes on a quest because there is something that is happening that is all the knowledge is draining out of the world. And so he goes forth to find out what it is and to stop it. It's good.
Yeah, sounds it.
And it turns out the problem is like this. I said, like there's a person who's doing it all, or who did it, who set that in motion, and it does not end with his death. And so he must. It's like that fear of death is really, and it's explicitly said in the text, like the fear of death made him do this, and basically has a hole in him that can never be filled. And yeah, it's good stuff. Like the only two things I remember from the fourth book, which I don't know how pernicious that is. Actually, three things. One, I seem to remember that the prose style changed. Obviously, it was written decades after the author wrote the originals. But also, I think like there was like a slightly different focus. Like in much of the previous books, it was even though there's still dialogue, it was very much like someone's telling a story. And this one seemed, I remember it being much more of a kind of a novel. As far as its narration is concerned, it's prose. And then all the wizards are virgins. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't quite track, but okay, sure. And all the wizards were gay, which I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. And like I said, I could be completely off base. So,
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that when I read it, I was in my late teens myself and being like, I probably didn't say she's ruining my childhood, but maybe some of that same spurious feeling was leaking through when I was reading it.
Yeah, I'll have to check out the series. I was trying to remember if Wheel of Time was also an Amazon Prime thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard bad things about that.
So I haven't read the books, so I don't know if that's what saved me from it, or if it's my connections to how much it's reminding me of Earth Dawn that's making me like it a lot. Especially because they find it's not as bad as par length, but it basically should be par length.
I kind of remember that
because I remember when I saw it, I'm like, I wonder if the person who made Wheel of Time was a fan of Earth Dawn, or is the person who made Earth Dawn a fan of Wheel of Time? And but it's there's supposedly second season is coming out in a week or two or something like that.
All right.
I enjoyed it, but I had no basis of comparing it to. So had I read the books, maybe I would not have liked it.
Right.
But it was scratching that sword and sorcery itch that I get occasionally, especially when running D&D. I have to have that fuel to keep me going sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, and then other wizard stuff. I may have accidentally bought more of the. I may have probably double bought copies because I've not been keeping up with reading the books that I buy. I buy books and they go on my shelf, and then I don't read them. And then I buy more books and they go on the shelf, and I don't read them. And I don't know which books I have, and I see a book, and I'm like, I think I might like that. I don't know if I have it, but it's $1. I'll buy it anyway.
Gotcha.
So I've been collecting the Dresden books, Harry Dresden.
Oh, okay.
Dresden Files.
Yeah.
Because I thought that they're really interesting premise. don't know if you've. I'm guessing you've read some of them.
I read the first few and got tired of them.
Oh.
I just they to me they were I don't know, kind of pulpy. I didn't think they were bad. I just
Mhm.
kind of saw it just seemed like a lot of power creep and didn't really care.
Yeah, I'll see. Might happen to me too, but I got them cheap, and I can always pass them off to somebody else if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
We almost got an interview with the author of the Dresden books because he
Oh.
was at Malcon, and we had set it up with his handler.
Oh.
But so we were like a minutes away from sitting down to interview him when some panel thing got bumped up, and he had to go to that.
Hmm.
So we missed out. It's like, oh, but he looked like a really cool guy, and he was signing all these books that people were bringing up to him and that, and so
Oh, cool.
yep. Bob says he loves the Dresden Files.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't done any of that Diablo 4 stuff.
I still haven't finished Diablo 3 yet. It's hard to keep following the story when you just want to kill stuff and get things. I loot the body for experience points and gold.
Right. Yeah, I did. I played a bunch of 3. Enjoyed it. Not as much as I played through 2.
Yeah, so
my wife and I. But
I had a hard time getting to where I was liking 3 because of how much I loved 2,
mm-hmm.
and the whole flexibility you had with the tree as your major
Mm-hmm.
character. And I'm not getting the same fun out of picking what special powers I'm going to use as I level up with 3, but the gameplay is still fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm 4 looks like it's just really similar to 3, which is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing.
Cool.
Ugh. Well, when we finish, I'm going to pop over to Guy's Facebook thing and see if he's doing his 10 o'clock show.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he's not there, I'm going to give him a call and make sure he's okay. Or
Right.
at least attempt to make sure he's okay. If he doesn't answer, then I won't know.
Right.
But yeah, he never answered my text. If he's not looking at his phone, or if his phone's on mute, not like he would have seen it or heard it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so I might live broadcast for Geek Tank for just a little bit over
Okay.
NDK because it'd be kind of fun, I think, to show people the video game room and the dojo and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So and that so even if we don't have a show Monday, but we probably will have a show Monday. But
Okay.
I don't know.
I forget. Are we playing D&D? We're not playing D&D, are we?
We talked about it.
I'm down.
We half joked about it. No.
Mm-hmm. We have one party
June
member who.
June would be missing.
Yeah.
But she was missing from last game, and
Yeah.
she might. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? It's not like I'm not going to have dice there. So,
right. Same.
and so we have access to our character sheets. Most of us, you would have to have your physical one there.
Yep, we'll do.
You know, if we wouldn't be able to game at our usual time because there's tournaments going on Saturday night.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that like during some other part of the time, if we all happen to find ourselves off duty, we can do some. And you know, actually, this is what might be fun to do because I said we're going to have a time jump. What we could do is just talk through some of what happens during that time that passes before the next game actually starts, like things people are doing.
Okay, that'd be cool.
So then people wouldn't even really need their character sheets for that.
Theater of the mind.
I know. Oh my god.
I don't know if y'all have a good enough imagination for that, or a good enough handle on our characters. Sorry, I can't even.
Yeah, I don't. I think some people are still forming their vision of who they are in their mind as their character and half baked. No, my hair's red. It's always been red.
Right.
But the picture you have isn't red. Oh, I couldn't find a picture with red hair, so that was just funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
See, if I was a player in that game and Bach was there, Bach would go, "I have red hair too."
Hmm.
You don't even have hair. Oh, okay. If I had hair, it'd be red. All right, we are at 10 o'clock. I guess we should say bye.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Brent, and anybody else who's watching. If I missed your comment, I apologize, but I don't see it on here. We will. I will try to do some random broadcasting from the convention, and then pretty good chance we'll be doing a show Monday. If not, then as long as if one of the three of us is up for doing something, there'll probably be something. If none of the three of us are up for something, then I'll post something saying we're not doing anything that night.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We will see you next time at some point. I've been Troy.
I've been Alex.
And this has been Geek Tank. Thanks. It's not playing. That's weird. What's happening? Oh no.
Good luck getting hold of the guy.
Let's try that again.
Not.
Let's try that
All
again.
right.
I clicked the button for closing. It's not closing. Uh-oh.